What is going on, Bucs fans? Back at it here at the Pirate Parlay podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm your host, JC, as always. We got a show right before Thanksgiving here for you guys. We're going to talk about this Bucs win over the Giants, what it means going forward. Obviously, we'll dab a little bit in the preview, but we got that coming out later for you with the Bucs taking on Davey Boy Canales and the Panthers, who have started to turn it around in recent weeks. We'll jump into the injury report, some of the things that Baker, Bowles, and Coen had to say today, and a little bit more, and obviously, of course, your comments. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. We'll jump into all that after the break.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Pirate Parlay.
Battle intercepted, picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world.
The sickest Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. It's going to be sick.
What is up? Welcome back. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you're listening on all the streaming apps, appreciate you there. If you're on YouTube, what's up, guys? How we doing? If you're here live, drop some questions. We'll treat this as a Q&A too. If you guys have any questions, any thoughts, as always, share these thoughts, ask your questions. I'll get to them. We've got a quick show tonight. Lots of baking, preparing for Thanksgiving tomorrow. If you are in the United States, and we have some Canadian viewers and some viewers across the pond, but we got Thanksgiving tomorrow. My sister-in-law and my nieces are coming to town, so excited to have them. Traditionally it's just me and the wife and the kids. We moved away from our family up north, so usually just a small gathering. So it'd be nice to have a couple extra people here. Looking forward to that. But as we get into it, we'll start on the injury report because that came out recently. We'll jump into that. And then we'll get started here in 1 second. Give me technical difficulties. All right, we're back. That's a groovy little 90s tune there. Sorry about that, guys. We'll jump into it now. But yeah, we'll jump into the injury report today. Just a walkthrough practice, so really not like a full injury report. But Mike Evans, full participant with that hamstring, which is good sign going forward. Didn't re-aggravate it, didn't tweak it. He looked really good. Of course, uphill battle for that 1,000 yards. He only got 68 yards on the day against the Giants. So uphill battle for him as he tries to trend towards 11 straight, tie Jerry Rice's record of 1,000-yard seasons. Obviously holds the record to begin a career, but would like to add to that as well. Needs about 99.5 yards going forward each game. So tough hill, and this matchup for him, J.C. Horn isn't going to be easy. J.C. Horn is, quietly been one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL this season, and had a difficult time against him last season at the final game of the end of the season. Obviously, the Bucs won that 9-0 to clinch the NFC South and go to the playoffs. You know the deal. Smoked the Eagles and lost late to the Lions. But Will Golson was a full participant with a knee. He's been on the injury report, it feels like, with everything. I don't know how much longer he has, but he's still out there making plays, had a tackle against the Giants in his limited time out there. You look at down the line, full participant was Marquise Watts, who also was activated today, his 21-day window to come off injured reserve. Depending on what they do with Jordan Whitehead, he could take that place there. It looks like Tristan Wirfs continues to make good progress, limited today with that knee foot injury. He was in a brace out there practicing with the guys. I would think he'll be good to go this Sunday against the Panthers, but again, something to continue to monitor. DNPs, do not practices. We'll get into that. Jordan Whitehead, obviously, with that torn pec. Todd Bowles talked about it today. He doesn't really have a timeline on it, because some people come back quicker. He said Jordan's tough. He's one of the toughest guys we've got. If he can get back, he's going to get back as soon as possible. He'll be happy when he's out there. But that's the best he can tell us as far as his injury and a timetable for return. It was announced that it's not season ending. He doesn't need surgery. So it's just about, pain tolerance and how quickly he can work his way back. Once the trainers give him the green light, he'll be ready to go. Tyke Smith still dealing with that knee that knocked him out right before the bye week. He's had, that week, the bye week to rest, this week against the Giants to rest. Undoubtful, if he's going to be able to play on Sunday. It's something that we're going to continue to monitor. Tomorrow's going to be another walkthrough practice. Friday is when we'll really get that idea of when he will play, if he will play on Sunday. Troy Hill did not practice. He was, again, remember last week, they signed him to the active roster, bumped off Kayvon Merriweather, who signed with the Lions. But he didn't practice both Wednesday and Thursday and was good to go. And limited participation Friday, played his first snaps with the team on special teams, had 3 snaps there. And then Joe Tryon-Sharenka, who left the game with an ankle injury. Bowles called it an ankle sprain. Didn't really have too much of a timetable on him as well. He said he was one of the other ones that wouldn't have been practicing today, but didn't give too much of a timeline. Sprains are kind of tricky. It's all kind of about pain tolerance and threshold for that. So something to monitor as the week continues to go through. And we'll kind of see what transpires. But looking back at that Giants game, man, 4 different players scored a rushing touchdown for the Bucs. They smoked the Giants 37. Again, it is the Giants, so level expectation there has got to be clear. But it was a good sign to see them come out and execute in a manner that, hey, we knew the Giants' run defense stunk. They stuck to that. They ran the ball. Bucky Irving led the way with 88 yards. That big 56-yarder with Baker Mayfield delivering crushing blows. Rashad White got involved in the touchdown scoring game with 37 yards on the day. Mayfield had 29 in a touchdown. And, of course, Sean Tucker had 3 in a touchdown. Both Mayfield and Tucker fumbled the ball. Mayfield he messed that handoff. That's all on him. Tucker got it punched out, and, those are difficult at the goal line. I don't necessarily – you can secure it a little bit better, but I don't necessarily put that full emphasis on him. We mentioned Mike Evans with his receiving yards. Bucky Irving is becoming this dual-purpose back, and this is the first week he outsnapped Rashad White. And, I don't think the Bucs are going to have ever a true number one back. I think it's going to be a 1A, 1B type of deal. But again, Bucky's been a little bit more, productive. Once he gets the ball in his hand, he usually makes that first guy miss, takes a gang of guys to usually bring him down. And he's getting, he still is also getting a lot of those runs that are a little bit more beneficial to the backs of, his style with those gap, those power, those duo, that pin pull type deal. While Rashad White's still kind of hammering those inside the mid zone, outside zone runs. And again, the Bucs offensive line just does a much better at the latter than the former. Or the former than the latter. So, it's going to be interesting to watch continue how they need both of these guys. There's no doubt about them. Both these guys need to, continue to churn and be workhorses for this Bucs team, because this week they're going up against the Giants. And again, we'll have our Giants preview on Friday, but they're allowing 160 yards on the ground. The Screams run the ball. And again, the Bucs have had success, just tremendous success running the ball this season. So you want to stick with what's working for you. So we'll jump into your comments real quick here. Then we'll jump back into some of the other content we have coming up for you. Richard says, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Appreciate that. Panther fan, sup JC. Panther fan, I actually met him on Fortnite. He is a Panthers fan, but showing some love here. Perfect time for him to stop by during Panthers week as well. Richard asked, did you see Levante on Up and Adams? She pointed out he has the most forced fumbles in NFL history for off-the-ball linebacker. He continues to be underrated in that regard. I think since 2012, he's got the most. Since TJ Watt came into the league, he's right behind him. But TJ Watt's an edge rusher. Levante David is just continuously overlooked. Part of it's because he's in Tampa Bay, but he gets it done, whether it's tackling, forced fumbles, getting to the quarterback, which is something he did a little bit more often, the past couple of years. His coverage isn't as it used to be, but Levante David is still him. And, while there are things that have fallen off a little bit in his play, he still makes up for it and had another big impact play this past weekend when he knocked the ball out of Tyrone Tracy's hands while they were trying to score a touchdown, recovered by Kalijah Cansey, who we'll get into him in a minute. Kalijah Cansey recovered that ball. Big day for him as he continues to just crush it coming back from injury. So, yeah, it's he's definitely continuing to be a stellar linebacker, especially at the off the ball position. A bunch of people in here. Bry loves the intro music there, that hold music. And Richard mentions, 11 different pass catchers caught a pass. You got the running backs involved. You got all the receivers and the tight ends involved. You got some explosive plays out of guys you really usually don't get. Obviously, Payne Durham had that big 26-yarder. Raheem Jarrett had that big 30-yarder. K-Dot only had one, but it went for 30 yards. Trey Palmer had one for 18. Shepard had, he was a steady Eddie, catching those small, short passes and turning them into gains. Ryan Miller had a big third down conversion for 14. They're getting everyone involved. And Baker was asked about this today, specifically about kind of this offense and how it operates. You want to talk about the running attack, but also the passing attack. He had 94 yards, no touchdowns besides the running one. But he said it's probably one of the most balanced. This is the most balanced offense he's ever been in. If you talk about the scheme that they brought in, how they're executing the run game, and there's the different personnel that they've been, forced to get into and learn and grow with the injuries that they've had. He said it's fun to see. It's fun to see the different packages that we can have and the stuff that we can, plays off of plays, still calling your bread and butter. The stuff that isn't broken, don't fix it. But then going from there, it's really a balanced attack. Obviously, everyone's playing well. 11 guys touching the ball. That's big time. So that means whatever package we have out there, everybody can get the ball. And it's true. Liam Coen, you hate mentioning his name nowadays, right? You listen to the broadcast if you guys did. They were gushing over him, gushing over Liam Coen. And I asked Todd Bowles on Monday, I was like, how does it kind of feel knowing that he's, now he's getting some head look. You lost Dave last year. He's getting some head coach, consideration and talk about. He's like, it means I'm picking the right ones at least. And then he went and quipped that, you should play the lottery. But, Liam Coen has this Bucs offense operating at a high level on multiple facets. It doesn't matter running the ball, doesn't matter passing the ball. He's got these guys moving. And different guys stepping up. You look at the numbers for this team, pretty much top 10 all across the board. They've got, the top number 2. Hold on, I just texted this to Liam earlier today. They've got the second in the NFL red zone on offense, converting touchdowns 69.8% of the time. Second and third down offense. 50.4% of the time they're converting, 4th in scoring, 10th in rushing, 7th in passing, and 7th in total offense. That's not even including like getting into the matrix, EPA, and really kind of those deep analytics where they're just above and beyond everybody. And, the Bucs got to start filling up that Brinks truck, because if they want to keep him, they're probably going to have to pay him. I would be shocked if he does not get some head coaching consideration, at least an interview. It'd be shocking to me if no one scratches that tree and kind of shakes the leaves a little bit to see, if he's interested and what it would take. Because again, Dave might have got did the resurgence of Baker's career. Liam Cohen's got him playing like an MVP. And if this team, was over 500 and top of the NFC South division, there's no doubt in my mind Baker would be getting some love for MVP, or maybe he wouldn't because he plays in Tampa. So who knows? But I do think that a big part of that is Liam Coen, the system he's put in, and the ability that you have so much different things you can run off the same look. And as Baker touched on, the freedom he's got at the line to change some things, the play call, with the 21 personnel that he's doing. Knowing when to dial up Baker runs. Obviously, we had the touchdown earlier. We had the third down conversion where, hey, just go play football, throw to the Buick. So, I think Liam wants to stick around a little bit longer. I don't know if he's looking for a head coaching job just yet. Some guys, they want to stick around, Ben Johnson, Bobby Slowick, they want to stay around a little bit, kind of see the thing through, see if they can make a real push. Other guys like Dave, they head coaching job, I'm going to jump at that. It's what I've always dreamed of. You never know if that opportunity is going to come back or not. You have a poor season next season, maybe you're not on the top of the team's list. So it's one of these, Tampa's great. If you live here, you know how awesome Tampa is, how great the fans are. The organization's top notch. The weather's perfect most of the time. It gets a little brutal in the summer, but these months right now, it's beautiful out. So, it's one of those things where we'll see kind of where his head is at. Down the line. Richard says, which defense is worse, Bucs or Panthers? Panthers by a long shot. Panthers are struggling in every single category you can think of, except surprisingly, they're actually ranked 10th in red zone defense. And we'll get into more Panthers, but I'll just give you kind of a glimpse of where they're at. Panthers total defense is ranked 30th, allowing 387 yards per game, allowing 39 touchdowns. Passing defense isn't as low as that, but it's still 24th, 226 yards per game, 21 touchdowns. They're bottom 10 in everything besides, like I mentioned, red zone. Rushing defense, worse in the NFL, 160 yards per game, 17 touchdowns. Guess who they play next week after the Bucs? Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. Good luck. He's going to go off. Scoring defense, worse in the league, allowing 30.9 points per game, 39 touchdowns overall. Red zone defense, though, when you get into the red zone, they're actually not that bad. So and third down defense, obviously they're dead last there as well, 49.3%. It's a struggle bus for them. They just don't have the guys. Derek Brown went down. Again, J.C. Horn's good, but their run defense is just not good. Ashawn Robinson, Jadeveon Clowney. They did get one of their players, DJ Wanham, back last week. He is pretty good, and he's kind of been on a tear. He's been actually 2 weeks ago they got him back before their bye. He's already got 2 sacks, a forced fumble. So, he's been playing pretty well for them, but again, they just need a lot of help. So we'll kind of see how things go. This is a classic trap game, not necessarily a trap game, but a division game where you're going up against your former head coach in Carolina. Kind of got some intel on what makes Baker ticks, kind of what he likes to do in certain situations, how he handles certain pressures and certain looks on defense. You can pass that over to EJ Ervo. Obviously he knows those skilled defenders, okay, what can we do to take Mike away? What did they do? What did teams do last year? So he can kind of give that, but it's a whole new system too. So, and Baker talked about that today as well. The kind of like, what does it affect anything? Knowing that, Dave kind of knows who he is and, what kind of player makes him tick and everything like that. And, again, he just kind of mentioned, the difference in the offense and, it's kind of a different team. Obviously they're much better in the run game. We got to prepare for different things. So they're mostly, Dave's going to spam the runs. But now that there's a little bit more diversity to this offense where they're running the ball well and passing the ball well, you can't just kind of focus in on that. All right, let's kind of see what you guys got going on here. Richard says, I'm really hoping Liam wants to stay with Baker, knowing Liam can take over for Bowles in the future. Yeah, it's one of those things where, how long does Bowles have? Bowles has said that he's not going to coach forever, but what's forever? He's having success right now. He's enjoying it right now. He's still but does he want to be able to go see his kids' college and stuff like that and play ball? And, it's kind of, it'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds. Obviously, a lot of it predicates that the Bucs can make the playoffs or whatnot. And we'll kind of see how that all happens. The Bucs they don't control their destiny, but they do have, a good handle on it. If they win out the rest of the way, I think they make the playoffs. If they drop one, maybe you're looking for some help for in the wild card. If you're looking at potentially, Atlanta dropping a few because they got a few good opponents coming off this bye week. They got the Chargers coming up. They've got the Ravens coming up. They've got some good opponents coming up that they're going to have to really kind of, buckle down for. So we'll see what they can do and what the Bucs can do. Again, this is one of those games where, and Baker said today, every game is a playoff game. Every game is a playoff game going forward. You really have to kind of take it week by week, day by day, game by game. Can't look too far ahead in the future because you need to essentially kind of win out to control your destiny, or need some help along the way if you don't. But before we continue, just gonna give a shout out to one of our amazing sponsors. Our time's coming to an end soon because tickets are on sale, but they're stopping December 11th. So if you haven't got yours, what are you waiting for? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers Cruise, guys, is going to be so much fun. March 7th to the 10th, 2025, obviously, from Fort Lauderdale down to Key West, Bimini, Bahamas, and back. It's going to be a ton of fun with so many great players on there. You see on the board Jordan Whitehead, Brad Johnson, Trey Palmer, but Mike Allstott, Kalijah Cansey, Yaya Diaby, Tristan Wirfs, Luke Gedeke, Graham Barton, Rashad White, Zion McCollum, Derek Brooks, Dexter Jackson, Jimmy Giles, Robert Batman Woods, so many more. On this tip of the iceberg there, but so many more players you get to meet, hang out with, talk to, kind of get to know them more off the field. I talked to Luke, one of my closing things. That was one of the biggest things for him. It's been great getting to know these guys off the field, letting these guys get to know me off the field instead of just, the player. So they're down for it. They want to talk to you guys, interact with you guys. Obviously, don't hound them and ask for autographs, but it's an awesome time. They have so many different events where you can do that. The sail away party, the cocktail parties, trivia contests, bingo, player panels, water volleyball game, theme parties, and so much more to keep the fun going. You guys don't want to miss out on this awesome opportunity to create lasting moments with whoever you bring. Bucs fans from around the country and obviously the players. It's incredible time. I definitely recommend it. Again, Christmas right around the corner. Looking for a gift, last minute gift. This is the perfect one. I'll be on there. You can find me at the Make Your Own Fashion bar. It's going to be a lot of fun. If we're moving, I'm boozing. That's my rule there. So, Richard again says, who has a higher advantage, Bulls over Canales, Canales over Bulls? I would say Bulls. He's seen more. You kind of, this Canales' version of his offense is something that's been duplicated around the league, and he goes up against it in practice. All last year, he goes up against a type of version up against their practice. But Canales right now, they don't have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball, because if you look at who's kind of banged up for them, it's their star tight end, who's been absolutely phenomenal for them. They drafted him in the 4th round, Jatavion Sanders. He's probably going to miss this game with a neck injury. Adam Thielen just came back, but he's still dealing with a hamstring injury. He just rested today, didn't practice today. But Jalen Coker has missed the last couple of games. He didn't practice with a quadricep injury. And they got Xavier Legette, and he's been that guy, for them. They drafted him high for a reason. I think it's going to be a lot of Chuba Hubbard, against the Bucs, and they're going to have to prepare for that. They obviously invested heavily in that offensive line, paying Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt this offseason. So I think for the Bucs, if you shut down the run, make them one-dimensional. Bryce Young's been playing really good ball. So you kind of have to account for him. But I think if you can make them one-dimensional, I think you're fine. You should win this game. But you got to watch out because Canales is going to have some things that he knows is going to keep it interesting. It's going to be one of these classic divisional games. The Bucs tend to drop some of these. We'll kind of see how it goes. I think the Chiefs are still pretty. Sorry, someone just popped on my phone. The Panthers are pretty far away from kind of being involved. At least 2 years. You gotta, first of all, Tepper's got to last that long with Canales, not fire everybody, but they still need a lot of help. They attacked the offense this side of the ball this season, bringing in, Hunt and Lewis in free agency. In the draft, they went after Legette, Jonathan Brooks, Jatavion Sanders. They added some skill skill players there. They still need help in the secondary in the worst way. They could use some help on the D-line. They did sign Josie Jewell to a 3-year deal and drafted Tevin Wallace. I think those guys, Josie Jewell's coming back off an injury, and he, if I'm not mistaken, didn't practice today either. But dealing with, just kind of rest practice because he's banged up. So there's definitely going to be a turnaround for them. I just don't think it's going to happen right now. And it all depends too if Bryce Young is the guy. That's got to be the key. If Bryce Young is a guy and continue to develop and go forward, then they'll be in a good situation. So other than that, kind of getting into anything else you guys have for me. I think the Bucs showed a lot this past weekend, and part of my, when I was looking at, what they did on defense, what they did on offense, my extra points that I wrote about, the defense allowed just 3 missed tackles on the day after missing 46 tackles the last 4 weeks, 11 and a half tackle miss per game. So really kind of short up the tackling issue. The interior continues to feast with Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey, 2 straight games with both of them having sacks. Kalijah Kancey was just living in the backfield all game. He's really coming into his own. It took a while because he was injured and missed a big chunk of the season, the first 5 weeks of the season. But now that he's come back, you can see him dialing up. Antoine Winfield grabbed the sack too, and much better play from him as well. Don't know how much of that, he came back maybe a little too early and having that week off kind of allowed him to rest. On the whole, the Bucs defense only allowed 4 explosive plays, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground. Coverage looked a lot tighter. They looked a lot more cohesive. The communication was much better. The linebacking corps played much crisper. There wasn't these gaping holes for, guys to run through or opportunities for guys to kind of match up on the linebackers, like KJ Britt or whatnot, and put them out of position for big plays. Much better defensive line performance. The offensive line continues to play tremendous. I think they're probably playing at probably the highest level in the NFL right now. You look at what the Giants were doing before coming in here, was second in the league in sacks. And they did that the last couple of weeks without Kayvon Thibodeau. They get Thibodeau back for this game. Obviously, Azeez Ujulari leaves pretty early, but Dexter Lawrence has 9 sacks coming in here. I think we only had 1 pressure. Graham Barton bulldozed him out of the way on a few plays. The Bucs held the Giants to 0 sacks and 6 pressures on the day. And it's not just pass protection where they're doing well. Obviously, running the ball, 156 total yards, 4 rushing touchdowns by 4 different players. This is the first time it happened in the NFL all season. Several explosive plays on the ground, obviously with that Bucky Irving 56-yard, but Bucky and Mayfield both averaged 7.3 yards per carry on the day. The offensive line usually doesn't get enough love, but definitely needed to highlight them. And then again, Liam Coen, just kind of dialing up what he's been doing all season long. He's got, there's been so much growth in the running game. He's got so much, he runs so many different unique concepts, and really kind of puts these players into the right position. They've all bought into his play calling. It feels natural with the flow of the game. There's 1 or 2 maybe head scratches. You're like, I don't know if I would have went that, but compared to last 2 years, even you go 2 years back with Byron, we're getting into what are we doing every play, pretty much. But he's done a really good job. Like I said, the broadcast has been gushing about him over the last couple of weeks, and it's just a matter of time before someone knocks on that door and says, "Hey, you want an interview?" And we'll see what he does, when that time comes. But do want to thank one of our other sponsors here, Fango and Tickets. If you're tired of getting blitzed by big ticketing companies, turn to Fango, your exclusively locally owned and operated Tampa Bay ticketing agency that offers fans like you full transparency. They prioritize fair pricing, no hidden fees, so that Tampa fans can enjoy events without unexpected costs. Again, you see what the tickets are, you see the fees, the taxes and everything like that, and you see what they charge you. Full transparency there. Visit fangotickets.com for unbeatable prices, personalized seat selection, and local partnerships that can take your game day to the next level. Again, they're starting to partner with more and more restaurants, parking garages, hotels are on the way. So, if you're coming from out of town, you just go right to Fango Tickets. You can book everything right in one click. Your whole thing, restaurant reservations before the game, parking, tickets, and eventually hotel room too. It's going to be an awesome site. And again, locally owned and operated. We love that too. So I'll take any final questions you have. But that's going to do it for me here. Unless someone else has got anything else. I appreciate everybody for always tuning in, liking, sharing, subscribing, telling a friend, all the new listeners, everyone in the comments. I really appreciate that. We'll end it with this. What's your go-to side? Drop them in the comments. What's your go-to side on Thanksgiving? And where do you stand on turkey? Is it overrated? Do you do anything else? Do you do a ham? Anything like that? Drop it in the comments. What your favorite side is turkey overrated? And I'll tell you mine, because I think turkey's overrated. I do. I don't even do a turkey. I haven't done a turkey in 3 years now. I do a ham and I do a chicken. Just much better. I've tried brining my turkeys. I've tried smoking my turkeys. I have never done fried turkey, but I mean, that's because I don't trust myself with all of that. But I've baked it. I've done so many different things. I don't know. I don't have a taste for it. And even when it's not dry, because I've made super moist turkey, I need some like cranberry or gravy on or something like that. I just can't do turkey straight up. So my kids don't eat it either. So we do a chicken for them and a ham every year. Love that. It makes things easier. Give a little bit of a different options there. My go-to side, I have a hard time choosing. I love the baked mac and cheese. Panther fan says baked mac and cheese, and I'm with you there. But I have baked mac and cheese all the time. He says turkey's fire. What else, guys? You guys think turkey's good? Canned cranberries, sweet potatoes. Love the turkey, so I'm outnumbered on the turkey. Portuguese stuffing hits different. Okay, so I love baked mac and cheese, but I feel like I have baked mac and cheese all the time. The one thing I really only have, and I don't count getting a sweet potato, a loaded sweet potato out to dinner or anything. But like sweet potato casserole, I'm always a sucker for that. I'm going back for seconds on that. Mac and cheese is going to be on the plate, maybe once or twice for sure. But yeah, I would say sweet potato pie and sweet potato casserole and mac and cheese are definitely going on my plate twice. I'm probably hitting the ham twice. And then what's your desserts? I make a mean Oreo crust chocolate mousse pie. That's what I look forward to every year, and some fresh chocolate chip cookies. Both of those things, that only gets made like once a year. My wife is a big banana cream pie. So she's got that banana cream pie. That comes once a year for her. It's so weird. Like we only have dishes like once a year. Like what's stopping us from making something like that before? Mashed potatoes. Panther said homemade mashed potatoes too, man. Don't forget. I actually got a ricer. I've been watching too much TikTok. I got a ricer, so I'm going to do like the mashed potatoes in the ricer. So yeah, I guess you get the creamiest potatoes that way. Instead of mashing them, you get the ricer. So we're going to try those. I'll let you guys know how that feels, but turns out. But yeah, we're going to have a whole smorgasbord. My wife does she does the green bean casserole. I'm not a big fan of that. We get the banana cream pie, chocolate mousse pie, apple pie, some chocolate chip cookies. That's our desserts. And then we do all the accoutrement, all the sides, the stuffing, all that stuff. I really appreciate Thanksgiving for what it is. Time for friends, family, football. I'll be parked in front of the TV. We get some appetizers too. I don't know about you guys, but like Thanksgiving dinner to me is Thanksgiving dinner. I have my Thanksgiving around like 5, 6 o'clock. I do like a morning brunch, and then I do appetizers throughout the day. So I'll like pigs and blanket, and I'm gonna make these things. They're bacon wrapped brown sugar smokies. I saw them. Again, I'm watching way too much stuff, guys. But I'm gonna have that. But it's a great day to look back and be thankful on the year before you go and spend a boatload of money on stuff you probably don't need. And everything's more online nowadays, so you don't have to fight at the store. But I am thankful for a lot of things this year. Obviously, my family always comes first. I'm thankful for the audience I have to continue to grow. You guys specifically, all my people on Twitter, or X as we're calling it. I appreciate you guys. You guys motivate me even when I'm bogged down with my full-time job. My kids are at practice and I still find a way to make time to come here, talk to you guys, bust out my articles, and try to give you guys the best coverage I can on this Tampa Bay Bucs team. That's, not biased and not negative. There's things, if things are negative, we got to talk about them, but I try to always do it with the positive outlook, positive upbeat, and hopefully hopefully this is, a part of your day, whether it's my content, whether it's a podcast that you guys really enjoy, coming here. And again, I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for football. It was a dark time a couple years back where we thought we weren't going to have it. It's just, football is one of the many sports in America, but football is one of the things that brings so many people together from so many backgrounds, so many cultures, so many races, and we can all just sit here and have a civilized, sometimes, conversation about the team you love, the team you root for, or just the league in general. And it really is such an amazing sport that it's able to do that and transcends everything other than just the love of the game. And, if the Bucs disappeared, I'm sure a lot of you guys would find new teams, because football is just an incredible sport. And it's allowed me to do so many things and reach so many people and give them this platform. And I'm forever grateful for it, forever thankful for it. But I'm also thankful for one of our sponsors here, our final sponsor, Mosley Heating and Air. When Florida heat hits hard, trust Mosley Heating and Air to help you keep you cool and comfortable. With over 25 years of experience, their family-owned business knows what it takes to keep your home's HVAC system running smoothly. Need a repair, new system, or maintenance plan? Do it now while it's cold out. They've got you covered. Call Mosley Heating and Air, 813-230-3742, or visit mosleyheatingandair.com. Check them out. They're doing great things in the Tampa Bay area. So if you need anything, definitely check them out. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. You guys watch the Thanksgiving parade? I do that with my kids, That's the whole deal. Watch the Thanksgiving parade, eat some brunch, and then jump into football. Then it's Daddy's time to have the TV. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, tell a friend. I appreciate everybody in here. You guys are awesome. You make this show even funner than it already is to do. So very thankful for you guys. And we're gonna get out of here. That's gonna do it for me here on the Pirate Parlay podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm JC Allen saying happy Thanksgiving, guys. And I'll talk to you. Well, you'll hear me on Friday, but I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Pirate Parlay on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.